Hey, what's going down, my friends? It's Jonathan, and I got a little birthday message for you all today. So depending on when you're watching this, today, the day of making this video, is actually my birthday. It's been pretty gloomy on the shore here all week, a lot of fog, but it still feels like a great week, and it just feels like a big day for me personally. I don't know, there's something different about this birthday than any birthday I've ever had in my life. And the reason why that is why I'm making this video. And you know, I really wanted to share some of what I've been going through lately, because I believe that the most valuable thing that we can really do as human beings when sharing with others is really sharing from our own experience. It's really sharing the truth of our lives, the nitty-gritty things that we've gone through that others might not have gone through. You know, our unique angle on the experiences we've had and the lessons we've learned that can oftentimes provide the most value and insight for others. And so, you know, as I move into this, well, really as today happens, this 30th birthday of mine, I really find myself moving into a new phase and a new era of my life. In fact, this last 18 months has really felt like a sort of rite of passage. And I think all of us, really at some point in our life, in fact at multiple points in our life, find ourselves moving through these rites of passage, which is an ancient, you know, tradition, an ancient custom in so many cultures. They have these sort of rites of passage ceremonies and movements and things that really signify when we move through different phases in our life and different ages. And I really find myself sort of moving through almost like the completion of my past in a way, right? The completion of everything that youth and sort of childhood represents, and youth and adolescence and even your whole 20s, because really, I don't know what your experience was, but even in the 20s for me was still very young. There was still, and so many people I meet nowadays, the 20s is really not, you're not really that mature in your 20s, quite honestly. You know, you haven't really kind of matured, I think, into what a full adult may look like nowadays. I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there. But, you know, really, this next phase and what I feel happening now, and the reason why I wanted to make this video and kind of one of the central themes and messages behind it is really self-love. And I want to invite you to step into a new form of self-love for your own life and your own business. I want to invite you to take on the question, you know, what does entrepreneurship, what does my business, what does success, what does my life look like from a place that's grounded and rooted in self-love and a practice of self-love? Because here's one of the things that I've learned the most, absolutely the most, over the last 30 years, and has continued to culminate more and more through this entrepreneurial and success and life and healing journey that I think we're all on in this community. The whole name of the game is self-love. The whole name of the game is truly self-love. And I found that in my experience, even though I started reading a lot of books very early on and educating myself about spirituality and personal growth and personal development and healing and all these things, and conceptually, you know, you hear the word self-love and you get it. Yeah, of course, who doesn't want to love themselves, right? But it's all on an intellectual level. And the reality is that we still continue to do lots of things that don't exactly come from a place of self-love. There were innumerable ways that I was living my life that don't actually come from a place of self-love. There was innumerable ways that I was building my business and developing my life that weren't coming from a place of self-love. And if you really desire to move into, you know, your true authenticity, what's really authentic for you? What's your life really about? What is an authentic life really about? At some point, you're going to cross with everything that's inauthentic in you. And what I've come to learn is that non-self-love, right? The opposite of self-love is completely inauthentic. It is completely 100% inauthentic. That's not us. Meaning our true self, our authenticity is not to be hard on ourselves. It's not to beat ourselves up for the mistakes that we've made. It's not to find our inherent self-worth outside of ourselves. It's not to find our self-worth in how much money are we making, or how successful are we, or what do our family and parents think of us, or what are we doing, what are we providing. Those things aren't authentic. That's not who we really are. And the essence of success is actually just being authentic. Because what human beings want more than they want anything, what we want more than we want money, more than we want success, more than we want acknowledgement, more than we want fame, more than we want freedom and luxuries, what we want more than we want anything is truly love and authenticity. We want to be ourselves. We want to feel comfortable in our own skin. We want to love who we are. We want to enjoy ourselves and our life. And we want to, from that place, attract people into our lives who mirror that. You know, we want people in our lives, we want meaningful, fulfilling relationships that mirror our self-love, that are just as loving back, and just as kind, and just as caring, just as compassionate, and just as fulfilling, and just as deep. You know, these are the things that we really, really, really want in our most honest moments. And so, you know, it begs a lot of questions. You know, what's keeping us from that? And that is the journey, without a doubt. When you really ask yourself, what's keeping me from feeling completely authentic, from feeling that sense of satisfaction and peace and self-love that every human being really wants for themselves at the deepest level, you know, you're going to find some answers. And, you know, when I really asked, what's keeping me from that? And I was really in a place where I was ready to look at it in my life, it sort of opened up a whole other layer of the onion. There was a layer that opened up that I had never seen before. And a lot of deep stuff was buried there. A lot of deep stuff was contained there. There was a lot of pain. There was a lot of experiences. There was a lot of beliefs. There was a lot of relations. There was all sorts of things that were keeping me from really experiencing true self-love. And I can't tell you that there's some type of easy process or way to to heal all that and to come back to self-love, because there's not. There really is no formula. There's no process. There's no guarantee. There's no anything. There's just your commitment to living a life that's based in self-love. There's just a commitment, your commitment to living a life that's based in truly taking care of yourself, really tending to your own needs, tending to all the different parts of you that are asking for your attention. You know, we have so many different parts of us. We have the emotional part, which is very different from the intellectual part, but both of them deserve to be cared for, right? And so many times we shun our emotions. We almost cut that part off from ourselves because we might not know how to deal with it, and the feelings might be too overwhelming, but that part is screaming inside, you know, tend to me, care for me, you know, love me. It's screaming for it. The whole world is screaming for it. And really, I think it's the calling of our times to answer that scream, to really start to care for all these different parts of ourselves in a much bigger way. Now, what's remarkable about this is how much of an effect this has on your business. Because what I've discovered is that you can absolutely do business in many different ways. One of the ways you can do business is a shrewd, sort of cutthroat, like you just, you know, cut a part of yourself off, just drive, and drive. And there's a lot of people that do that, and they're successful, and they don't have a lot of compassion and empathy for themselves. They live in a state of mind that is based on, you know, what was got today, right? Achievement, how much money was made, where did we get to, what goal was reached. It's just, there's always some goal that is in the future that is being driven towards, and, you know, sort of come hell or high water, you know, that's what's important. Everything else gets discarded, and you just got to reach that goal. That works for some people. It does not work for most people. Most people are going to beat the crap out of themselves trying to follow that model. They're going to truly beat the crap out of themselves, and it's not even going to work. It's not even that effective. It's only effective for like this most A-type sort of personality driver, like, you know, people or ambitions, but it's not really effective. So but you know, that's a lot of the world's business people. You know, it's amazing how much business and how many successful people are really fueled by their unconscious drives and their unconscious desires and their unconscious motives and things they don't even understand about themselves, and that's what's driving them, you know, as a way to be happy. But you can never be happy from some external goal, because you're just going to need another goal and another goal and another goal and another goal and another goal. It just never ends. So the second way is really a different way. It's a more compassionate, a more nurturing, a more self-loving way, where your success is really measured by how you feel, right? It's really measured by how much are you taking care of yourself. And this is my wholehearted intention in heading into the future of what I create in business. You know, I started getting really clear that I wanted to build my businesses from a different place inside of myself, from a different way of being. There was a lot of old things that I felt that were rigid and hard and very external focused, and I've got to get this to be worthy, and if I don't meet this goal, then I'm a piece of shit, and I'm not good enough, and I'm not doing it right, and oh, this person's doing better than me, they're making more money, shit, you know, I suck now, blah, blah, blah. That whole world. And I don't want to live from that world. I don't want to live in that place. It's just, that's not what life is about. We have 70, 80, 90, maybe 100 years on this planet, and it's gone like that. And to have it be lost in these illusions is a waste of life. And no, I'm not going to do that. So I wanted to live from this different place. What's it look like to live my business and create success and reach all my goals, every dream I have? Because, you know, just because there's a difference between goals and dreams, right? Visions and external outcomes. It's so natural and authentic to have a vision and a dream for your life. That's your purpose. That's what your spirit is here to do. You are here to live that dream and live that. That's what's most important to you. It's coming forward from you. That's very different from, I've got to get to $10 million a month, because $10 million a month is when I'm going to be good enough, in essence, in my own mind. That's my goal I've set for myself. I got to get to 10 million a month, because once I'm at this certain level, then I will be successful. Then I can feel good about myself. I can't feel good about myself when I'm making 10,000 a month, because clearly, you know, that sucks, and I need to be making 10 million a month. And even though, you know, 98% of the world would die for, you know, most incomes that anybody in the first world country has. So, you know, that's the difference, right? One is sort of really centered in this like really extrinsic sort of outward thinking, where you're not really connected to who you are. You're not really connected to your authenticity. You're not really connected to your emotions. You're kind of, it's very intellectual, goal-driven. I got to get here to be good, do this thing, right? The other one, this is the new paradigm that I feel is emerging, is you are connected to what's authentic to you. You're connected to your vision. What matters is your vision, not a goal. So of course, I want to reach my visions and dreams in life, but I want to reach them from a place that honors all these different parts of me in the process, right? I don't want to hate myself while I'm doing it. I don't want to beat myself up while I'm doing it. I want to really experience love and enjoy this moment in this process. And if something's coming in between that, it's not acceptable to me anymore. You know, it really needs to be distinguished, and we really need to change those patterns, because those are just old patterns that operate inside of us that oftentimes we never chose those patterns. We learned them from somewhere. When you really start digging into it, where did you learn beating yourself up from? Where did you learn criticism? Where did you learn judgment? Where did you learn anger? We didn't just, didn't just come in here. We learned those things. So when you start to realize, holy crap, I don't want to be my parents. I don't want to be all the dysfunction I learned from this person or that person or from society or whatever. Like, I don't want to be that. I want to be different. I want to be me. I want to be authentic. I want to be loving and happy and kind and, you know, wise and strong. So this is really the new paradigm. It's to be connected to your authenticity, to what you really want, to not shun parts of yourself, to pay attention to any part of yourself that is asking for love, and to live with self-love as you move forward into manifesting your dreams, your goals, and your visions in life. This is the new paradigm. This is what our planet needs the most right now. This is what we need the most right now. We need ourselves to be healed, and all of us, I believe, 100% believe this, all of us want a deeper level of self-love. I certainly know I do in my life. I certainly know that I'm ready to really experience what it's like to fully love myself without judgment, without condemning, without criticizing, without beating myself up, without holding myself to inauthentic standards, without all these things that have been a part of my past. I'm really ready to experience what it's like to just love myself. And enjoy this process and enjoy this journey. And I'll tell you right now, when you make that shift, it changes your life. I mean, everything you're doing in business gets a lot happier. You get a lot more effective. You really attract people and clients with your authenticity, because deep down on a biological level, all human beings are gravitating towards feeling good. You can't help this. This is biologically programmed into us. Our brains, our entire neurochemistry, we want to feel good. We're triggered by happy chemicals in our brain like oxytocin and dopamine and all these other things. We want to feel good. And there is no better feeling than the feeling of self-love and truly loving yourself. So, my friends, hopefully you can forgive me if I went on a little bit long, but you know, the message just needs to come out. And again, I invite you to take this question in just today. That's all we need to do right now, is take the question in and keep it in and remember it as we move through our day and move through our weeks and move through our lives. How can I build my business and live my life from a place of true self-love? And what does that even look like? What does that even mean to me? And just take that question in and just live with that question for the next week. Meanwhile, I have to go come up with a devastatingly, I badly need a new branding campaign because I'm 30 now. And I'm kind of having a branding crisis here. Like, gone are the days of being able to be the 20-something-year-old, you know, punk kid, you know, breaking records and doing all these things. Like, that's just not going to fly anymore. I need to figure out how to spin this whole 30 thing and really come up with a brand, some type of brand, so that, you know, everybody doesn't think I'm old news and completely discard me and sort of write me off. Oh, well, you know, he was good while he lasted. Oh, 30, man. It's funny. But I'm just kidding with you, my friends. I'm just kidding with you. I do think that 30 is going to be a whole new opportunity for branding. Yes, I'm growing up. Now I've got the family thing that I can totally play off of. That's going to score major points, right? I've got the, you know, still pretty young, definitely not 20s young. Can't go for that, you know, whatever value I got from that. But I'm still pretty young and can come up with maybe a more wise pitch now. You know what I mean? Maybe I can brand it as more of like seasoned or something or whatever. I'm sure that I'll figure out the right way to spin this whole 30s thing and make it a good brand. But in any case, I appreciate you all so much. Love you tons. Remember the question, invite the question into your life that I shared with you today, and I'll be back to talk with you more soon. Ciao.